Feeling a little
lost?
Let us help you find the magic. This is Disoriented.
Disoriented is a podcast that celebrates Disney parks, travel, and pop culture. Check us out on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Disoriented, or our webpage at disoriented.me. You can also call us using our Google Voice hotline. That number is 716-508-0709. We'd love to hear all of your feedback and take your Disney questions. Hey everybody, welcome back to Disoriented. Hey Jess.
Hey Dave.
It's been a while.
It has.
Everybody who is tuning into this, thanks for checking us out. I know we took a little bit of a break, but glad to be back in front of the microphones. And tonight we're going to be talking about DVC.
Ooh.
So a couple of housekeeping announcements, I suppose, before we get into that. First, I made a mistake and let disoriented.com lapse, the URL. So we relocated all of our content to a new URL. So please go check out our newly redesigned website. It is disoriented.me.
.me.
I didn't think that was an available option, but hey, that's where we're at. So please go check us out. Added a lot of photos to the website. Hopefully it's a more pleasing aesthetic for you all.
It's very nice. You've done a great job.
Enough about me. Second, on housekeeping, a quick announcement about Jess. So very shortly we'll be able to make a full and official announcement, but very shortly we'll have some fun and exciting things to talk about from a Disney perspective with Jess.
Soon.
Yes. So stay tuned. I'm sure we'll put out a little episode when that happens, but again, those two things are interrelated, the website and this announcement we'll have for Jess. So please go check out our website in the meantime, bookmark it if you have not. We're going to do I'm going to do a better job of updating it, and we're going to lean on some other friends of ours to contribute. So you'll see their faces on the staff and contributors page, so go check that out. All right, without further ado, let's dive into DVC. So I'm not going to go and explain what DVC is here. I'm assuming most of you that are listening kind of understand what it is already.
Mm-hmm.
If you do not, I would suggest you go to our website and check out an article that I wrote that it kind of explains the basics of what DVC is, the history of it, the properties involved in DVC, and conceptually, right, what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is kind of need to know stuff for this conversation. So maybe if you don't really have that knowledge about DVC, I would go ahead and check that out, or just educate yourself a little bit beforehand.
Yeah, I feel like if you're tuning into this episode, you probably know a little bit about DVC, but a little bit more background never hurts, right?
Yeah, I agree. All right, so, I mean, cat's out of the bag, right? We bought into DVC.
What?
A couple of things we wanted to cover here and maybe give you some explanation or background into our decision-making process, and maybe that'll help you or inform you on a discussion you can have with yourself if you're thinking about DVC. So we just kind of wanted to put this out there so you guys had an opinion to lean on, maybe. Mm-hmm. So first, let me say, this is something you could take advantage of when you're in the parks and you're not a DVC member and you just want some free stuff. Because Disney is very generous with their benefits and offers with regards to DVC, they have, and I'm sure you've seen it, several kiosks around property, both in the parks and at Disney Springs, where they're offering DVC tours, mm-hmm. right? Not only does this give you an opportunity to check out what DVC is, talk to some people, a cast member that is trained to talk about and potentially sell DVC. You can learn all about it if you're curious, but then I know in our case, they offered us a $50 gift card for taking the tour.
Mm-hmm.
And also they did offer us fast passes, even though that was our last park day, so we couldn't really take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want some free stuff, I would encourage you to talk to one of those DVC cast members and see what they can offer you.
Yeah, these DVC folks, they just want to get people in the door. That's, some of their main objectives is to just get people in, get people thinking about it. And if they can get you on a couple rides, with fast passes, or offer you, $40, $50 gift card, which is chump change for Walt Disney World.
Sure.
That's part of the bigger game plan.
It'll pay for your lunch, right?
Sure will. Bought us dinner.
Yes. Not an extravagant one, but dinner nonetheless. Okay, so let's talk about, Jess, why we bought DVC, and I guess we'll tell people what we bought, maybe.
Okay.
Not to, make this about us or anything, but maybe there's some strategy behind what we did, so you guys can maybe, again, lean on our opinion and our actions to inform some future decision-making process for yourself. So we did buy into DVC. We bought the minimum amount of points you can directly from Disney, and I guess we'll talk about direct from Disney versus resale in a moment or later on in this episode. But we bought the 75 points.
And I'd like to preface this by saying we planned on going on the tour. We did not plan on buying into DVC the same day. We had a well thought out plan of doing it in the future, but the folks that run these tours and sit down with you, they know how you can get the most out of your vacation, and they're good at their jobs. I mean, we sat down with them for a while and they helped us figure out what worked for us, and I'll let you continue, but I think getting the right DVC person, I think, helps too.
Yeah, Chris was our sales counselor.
Yes,
he was very good. I mean, it was a no pressure environment, so I don't think that they're trying to jump down your throats trying to make you buy. I think that they know that you want the product if you're going on this tour. At least some part of you does, right? And Jess and I talked about it, and we were heavily leaning towards buying DVC probably next year, regardless. But currently, they were offering us the 75 points plus the 2018 allocation of points at the same time. So basically it was double points. We were getting 150 vacation points for the price of 75 right away. So we thought that, we didn't really want to buy in at the minimum at 75, but because we were getting those points immediately, the 150, we thought it would be wise to jump in. We had the available funds, and we just went ahead and pulled the trigger. So we'll talk in a few minutes, I guess, about what our goals are in the future for DVC, because I think we need more than 75 points as a family of 4 that wants to go maybe 1 to 2 times a year. So we'll talk about that in a minute as well. But that's really it. I mean, if you're interested, the tour is a good option for you because you'll get to see multiple DVC units. So we went to Saratoga Springs. One of the hubs is at Disney Springs for DVC sales. And Saratoga's right around the corner, right? They brought us to a building that had 5 to 7 units, one from Alani, one from the Poly, one from Copper Creek.
Yep.
So you get to see multiple resorts accommodations, right? And that'll help you get a feel for what you're buying into and what's available for you as far as accommodations goes when you do end up booking a DVC style vacation. So highly recommended if you are leaning in that direction, right? There are obviously some blanks in the conversation here, but we did get a few questions from our listeners, so we're going to fill in some blanks in a few minutes. So pardon the brevity here, but we're going to run through a couple of other things and then maybe circle back to some basic DVC information. All right. I mentioned before that we're going to talk about here DVC goals. Right now we have 75 vacation points. I think ultimately we want to be at around 150.
I'd say 150 to 200 max.
Right. So let's take a minute just to talk about what a person's options for buying DVC are, right? So we bought directly from Disney. Right now, as of recording, today's the last day of March in 2019. DVC will cost you $188 per point. A rumor is it's going to go up soon because the Riviera Resort just went on sale. So you could see points at or above $200 very soon. If you go to the resale market, which is your other option, if you're not going to buy direct from Disney, you're going to have more price flexibility there because I guess I should explain this briefly. People that have bought DVC in the past are able to sell their contracts, right? So that's why there is a resale market. This is policed somewhat by Disney because they have first right of refusal, and I explain that in more length in the article we have on our website. But let's just say that if you don't want one of the properties that Disney is selling currently, and right now they're only selling Copper Creek, they're selling Aulani, and they're selling Riviera, which is brand new. Let's say if you wanted to buy DVC at Animal Kingdom Lodge or the Boardwalk, right? You could go resale, check one of the resale companies like
DVC store.
Right. Timeshare store. I know the Diz works with them. There are options out there. They'll hook you up. They'll walk you through the process. It is somewhat longer than a direct transaction through Disney, but that's because it involves a third-party seller. Yes. I mean, you can't legislate for the time it takes for someone to do their own paperwork, so you're taking that risk with a third-party transaction. And then, like I said before, Disney does hold first right of refusal on DVC resales. So let's say Disney wants to step in and buy those points and then sell them at their price for someone that's on a wait list. They have the right to do that. So I think I mentioned it in the article, about 80% statistically of resales go through. The other 20% are bought back by Disney, and that's how Disney kind of fills their wait list population.
And you'll see Disney buy back the resorts that do have longer wait lists or that are being offered at, $100 or less a point. They're not going to let that go. They're going to scoop that back up.
Right, because they can make some easy money on it.
So that's where you do have to be careful as far as the resale market goes. You're taking a risk, putting in an offer, and that might not go through. So, there's a lot of getting your hopes up that might not come to fruition, whereas if you buy direct with Disney, you get that instant gratification for the most part. You're done. I mean, we had our contract from start to finish done within an hour of, saying we're going to do this. So...
But that convenience comes at a cost, right?
It does. $188 a point cost.
All right, so I threw it out there before, Jess. DVC goals, I mean, like I said, we probably want to buy in another 100 points. We are leaning towards the resale market because, and again, as I explained in the article on our website, because we have a contract direct through Disney at this point, we are full and complete members of DVC. We have the membership cards. We have access to all the member events, the discounts, stuff like that. If you were to buy strictly resale, you would not have those perks. So we made the strategic decision to buy in at the minimum for direct through Disney, and then we're going to supplement with some third-party contracts because I'm saying plural, I'm assuming we're going to buy multiple. Anyway, but you have the flexibility on those third-party resales to kind of choose where you want to buy. And I think Jess and I are leaning maybe because we have a membership at Copper Creek, and we'll talk about the benefits of home resorts in a few minutes on one of our questions, but maybe somewhere near Epcot, I think, is where we're leaning. Or I think we have a soft spot for Animal Kingdom Lodge because the points per night are so low.
Far.
Yeah. So Animal Kingdom is a very good value for your purchase. I mean, it almost costs less to stay on DVC points at Animal Kingdom Lodge than it is to stay at Old Key West or Saratoga. Yeah. So my suggestion to you all is be as informed as you can be. Do some research. I give some helpful links on that website article as well. So reference that material.
Yeah, I mean, just going back to, if you want to buy direct with Disney for the perks alone, a lot of people don't think they're worth it. I personally like the discount on an annual pass when we get there. I like the idea of being able to attend Moonlight Magic parties. Those are those little things that kind of appeal to me, but I know in the grand scheme of things, they might not appeal to other people. They'd rather save a little bit of money than worry about those. So again, like Dave said, just, look into all available options and do your research. Yeah,
well said. Let's transition, Jess, to more of an explanation of why we bought in to give some people an idea on that, right?
Okay.
So, and again, I'm going to consistently do this, but check out the article on the website because it explains the math behind Disney Vacation Club and really the concept of fixed price and stability on price. And I think that was a major selling point for me, at least, as someone who is always, looking at their wallet and watching the money fly out at Disney. So we know that we're going to be regular Disney vacationers probably for the rest of our lives, right?
Yes.
So Disney Vacation Club made sense to us because we're locking in our vacations at a fixed price now, and we're kind of hedging against inflation, right?
Yes.
So right now we can book, with our 75 points, which isn't a lot, we can book like 4 nights at the Poly in a studio,
Yep.
right? Rack rate that would cost you like $500 to $600 a night. When we're done with our buy-in, because we did finance, our annual dues for the 75 points, it's going to be about $500 a year, right?
About $40-some a month.
Right. So we'd be able to stay 4 nights at the Polynesian for $400 or $500
total. Yep.
which would be awesome, right? And we have that in perpetuity as long as Disney Vacation Club doesn't do anything dramatic with their point structure, which they've promised us in the sales pitch they're not going to, right? So it made a lot of sense to us. One, because we're regular, or we're frequent Disney travelers. 2, we want to keep going there.
Yep.
And then 3, both the price stability aspect and then as well as discounts, especially on annual passes, like Jess said. I mean, it's worth mentioning on the podcast as well, and I call it out in the article. As a DVC member, you have access, as people that live in New York, we have access to the Gold Annual Pass, which is $150 to $200 less than the Platinum Annual Pass, which is what a regular park guest would be offered, right? But because we're DVC members, we have access to that much cheaper Gold Annual Pass, and all we're losing is the week of Christmas and the week around Easter, right? Around spring break.
Yep, this is a pass that's only offered to Florida residents normally.
Yes.
So if you think about it, we're saving a lot of money.
Sure. I mean,
So-
if we made the call now, right, that we were going to buy annual passes every year, right now it's saving us, let's say $150 per person in our family. That's $600 a year that we're saving alone, and that covers the cost of our dues itself right there.
There you go. Yeah, and also if the time comes where we want to renew it, you get a renewal discount on top of that.
Sure.
So, yep.
And it made financial sense for us. So, Jess, I kind of outlaid all of my thoughts. Anything you wanted to reinforce or add there?
No, I mean, I completely agree with everything. I think the main reason I wanted to buy in was to just make sure we are all set for our future vacations. I mean, I love the idea of, once we have our buy-in paid off, which will hopefully be very shortly, that we are only paying $500 to stay, maybe 5-6 nights at Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Sure.
That's very nice. So those are the kinds of things that I was very excited about when we considered this.
Yeah, I mean, it's a large investment now for a future of Disney vacations, which we're going to take advantage of anyway.
Absolutely. And the thing I was thinking is, and our good friend Amy pointed this out when we took our 3rd or 4th trip, she said, you guys should look into DVC. And I said, nah. And if we had, we would have already have paid off
Right.
100 plus points now, just because of the amount we've gone. But, we've done it. We've bought in.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a regular Disney traveler, I would suggest looking into it, even though it might cut against future business opportunities for Jess to tease the announcement again.
Wink.
It just makes sense. So look at the numbers, do your math. I mean, we're very scientific about the trip planning process
Yes.
and always kind of checking our numbers. Because we had that experience looking at the finances and the cost per day, per person for all of our trips, I mean, we kind of understood that it was a value to us.
Yeah, and there are going to be instances where it doesn't work for everybody. If you go once every 5 years, and if you are trying to, plan a value type Walt Disney World vacation, this isn't probably going to be for you, and that's fine because I love my value resorts. I like my moderate resorts, but I know that we had wanted to start looking at staying in deluxe accommodations a little more,
Right.
and it's
Yeah.
just a personal decision.
Sure. And to reinforce what we said before, right? I mean, we're going to be able to stay at the Poly or the Grand Floridian or Animal Kingdom Lodge at the price of a value resort or less. So once you get past that initial buy-in, I mean, you're on easy street from a deluxe accommodation price perspective. All right. Let's transition now to some listener questions we got.
Okay.
And this will kind of fill in the blanks about some basics of DVC and put some information out to those folks that asked so we can get them those answers. So first, our longtime listener, Patterson Golf on Instagram, asked us to explain why a home resort, not why a home resort. That doesn't make any sense. explain what a home resort is and why it's important. So, Jess,
question.
Can you handle this one?
Good question. So, a home resort. It's important, but not as important as you might think. So, basically, when you go to buy into DVC, they will probably only have a couple options available. Currently, like Dave mentioned, it's going to be Copper Creek, Alani, and Riviera. You get what you get, but the benefit of having your points at a specific home resort you're interested in is that you get the opportunity to book a room there at 11 months out. So if you're looking at booking a trip next March, we could go ahead and do that for Copper Creek. If we are interested in any other resort, we will have to wait for that 7-month window to open before we're either able to book something or put our names on a wait list.
In that, right, you understand that there's an advantage to having, a specific resort be your home resort because you have booking preference, right? You have a 4-month head start.
Sure.
So in situations like food and wine, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you have an Epcot home base, right, you're able to book that food and wine stay at 11 months versus everyone else in the DVC pool who is booking at 7 months out, right? So, and this goes back to the resale point that we made before. I mean, Disney is only offering certain resorts. Well, you can add your name to a wait list direct through Disney if you want. That's an option, and I explained that in the article as well. But if you wanted to get something, and we're the resorts we're looking at, right? I mean, I think we probably have a lean towards Beach Club or Boardwalk because we do want to get close to Epcot. And strategically, Echo Lake, that area is kind of, snapped right in between Hollywood Studios and Epcot. So
Crescent Lake.
Oh, sorry. Did I say Echo Lake?
Yeah, you sure did.
Echo Lake's at Hollywood Studios,
sure
guys. I was close, at least. And you have access to the Skyliner right there. So we're thinking long-term that would be a cool place to be because the two parks are walkable, right?
Yep.
So we would want to be in that position to get an 11-month, booking window for those resorts. So think about that when you're trying to weigh your options, whether you want to buy direct from Disney or go resale immediately. I mean, that's ultimately up to you, right? Okay, I think we covered it. You know what? The thing we didn't explain was the very basic. What is a home resort? A home resort is the resort that you own at, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So our home resort is Copper Creek.
Whew, it's been a
now.
while, guys. Yeah. It's been a while.
We're just getting our podcast muscles warmed up again. All right. Next question coming from Mel's on Instagram, another longtime listener. 2-part question. All right, Jess? And this has to deal more with the trip planning aspect of DVC. So first part of the question, how does owning DVC impact your ability to use the Disney dining plan?
Okay.
So a good question.
Good question.
I'll handle the second part if you want to handle this one.
Sure. So as far as your ability to use the Disney dining plan, it doesn't affect it at all. You're going to be able to add it on to your stay. The only requirement is that you add it on to your stay within 48 hours beforehand. Otherwise, you're out of luck because you cannot add it on when you get to the resort. And then you will want to make sure that you're ready to pay it in full because that is another thing that Disney asks you to do as DVC owners. So just be ready to do that and you're all set.
Right. And you have the full range of options. You have the quick service, regular, and deluxe. Again, within 48 hours of your arrival date and pay in full at time of decision. So if you're on the fence or if you don't have the money for it, I guess, wait until a week before your vacation when you have the money and boom, go ahead.
You're good to go.
All right, second part of the question. This one also related to dining. Does Tables in Wonderland have anything to do with DVC? Or are there dining discounts for DVC members?
Okay.
All right. So to answer that in simple terms, I guess, first part, yes. Second part, no. So, yes, I suppose Tables in Wonderland does have something to do with DVC because in order to buy Tables in Wonderland, you need to be either a Florida resident, you need to be an annual pass holder, or you need to be a DVC member.
Gotcha.
All right? So, if you wanted to buy Tables in Wonderland, if you fit into one of those 3 criteria, well, I guess I should say just for DVC because I didn't look up the prices for others. And I guess maybe I lied because maybe there is a discount for DVC because you get a discount on Tables in Wonderland versus others.
I know this answer.
Okay.
So Florida resident, Tables in Wonderland is going to run you $175.
Okay.
And then the other 2 options, annual pass holders and DVC members, that's going to be $150. So you do get that slight discount from.
Excellent.
Yes.
So you're not getting a discount on your meals if you're a DVC member, but you can get a discount on the Tables in Wonderland card, which will get you the discount on meals.
The 20% off on select. Oh, the 20% off on all food and alcohol at participating locations.
Yes. So that's your discount with Tables in Wonderland. We did read today that it covered valet parking, but we heard a lot of places where it said that was no longer valid.
I don't know if I believe that.
So ask some questions if you're interested in the valet parking, because we're not sure if that's included still.
Yeah, and just another heads up, if you have an annual pass too, you're going to get a dining discount. It's just not going to be as high.
I think it's 10%, right?
It's 10%, yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So, Mel's, hopefully that answers your question about dining plan with DVC, and then also a quick thing on Tables in Wonderland.
Yeah.
So we have not ever had a Tables in Wonderland card because we traditionally get the dining plan.
We like the dining plan.
Yeah.
Again, it gives us that all-inclusive feeling that we really enjoy on vacation.
Yeah. All right. And that's about it for our DVC talk tonight. What I wanted to do is direct a lot of people to our website.
Yeah, it's a great website.
With this episode. Well, thank you. It's a great
You're
website.
Welcome. Yeah, it is.
We wanted to, with these episodes, keep them shorter and more compact in nature and kind of lean on interactions in social media, on contact with our listeners on our website, and maybe do a lot more work on that front behind the scenes instead of kind of just pushing as much content as we can out in the podcast sphere. So we haven't established a frequency yet for the new episodes. I mean, we want to do one monthly. As long as there's some content, we'll get it out there. As we have big news and announcements or film reviews or stuff like that, we'll kind of get those out as well. I mean, there's a lot of movies that are coming out in the spring and summer this year, so I'm sure we'll have something to talk about there. Didn't see Dumbo yet. We might wait until it hits the cheap theaters because we didn't hear great things. So anyone who loved it, get a hold of us and let us know. Gosh, what else?
Can I make one note?
Sure.
That you noted here, and I just want to make sure that it's not overlooked in case there was another question out there. But the only other thing I want to say about DVC, completely bringing it back to DVC, is that you can take Magical Express as well.
Oh, yeah.
There's no problem with the Magical Express. It's just like any other vacation. You just pop your information in, and you are on the Magical Express.
Yeah, and that was a question I had when we went to visit the sales office, right? I wasn't sure if that was included. For some reason, I thought it wasn't. Who knows? Because I know that they include free parking at DVC resorts if you do, rent a car and park at the DVC resort, but you have to be staying on points. Yes. So, asterisk.
Disney. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, there's lots of little stuff that I might have missed on the article, and also we missed here because we missed a lot in this conversation. So get a hold of us with your DVC questions if you want to know more about it, if you want to ask us what we feel about certain things, what our experience so far has been with booking, because we did book our first DVC stay. We're going to do a couple of nights at the Polynesian without the kids.
Hey-o.
Don't tell them. They're not old enough to even understand what a podcast is, so
they're fine.
I think we're in the clear.
They'll survive.
That's really it for tonight. I know we want to get an episode out about our cruise that we took. There's an article on our website about that, so you'll kind of understand my perspective. I had some mixed feelings about it. We don't want to get negative on the podcast here. I mean, it was a great experience, but read it. I mean, I think my feedback is similar to what a lot of other people say about Disney Cruise Line as well on their first cruise. So honest opinions, right? We don't want to hide things from you or shield things from you. So we wanted to get that out there as well. We're probably going to have a Disney Cruise Line episode in the next month or so stay tuned for that. If you want to hear anything from us, any specific topics you want us to cover, get a hold of us. There are a lot of contact forms on the website, basically on every page, because we want your feedback. We have that Google Voice hotline still set up. We have email, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Hit us up, and we will find a way to get back to you. Jess, anything you want to say before we leave for the evening?
Super great to be back.
Yeah, feels good. And we will talk to you guys next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to Disoriented. You can find us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Disoriented. Our website is disoriented.me, and you can call us at area code 716-508-0709. We'd love to hear all of your Disney questions and all of your feedback. Thanks for listening, and have a great day.
World Wide Web? Is there a way to put this on just the American part?